had become the stage for her final moments. This was Cornisha Butler, a young mother of four who was shot in the face by her wife after Cornisha finally told her the harsh truth that she was not ready to hear. Cameras caught the terrifying incident unfolding with the gun in the killer's hands. She had done everything right, at least everything she thought she could. Police reports, restraining orders, repeated calls for help. Time after time, she tried to shield herself and her children from danger.
Like, y'all see this shit, bro? You could call the police, get restrained, or all type of shit. Y'all think that's gonna stop somebody from getting killed? The police be no help. Why you think niggas in the streets don't look to call no police? They not about to help you, nigga. They not about to help you, nigga. They gonna make it worse for your ass. They gonna put out your paperwork. You was snitching, them niggas gonna come kill your monkey behind. That's all that's going on. And I feel bad for this lady. She got 3 kids, 3 daughters at that. 3 daughters. That's why I don't understand, bro. Just date your damn sex. Date the same. Why?
That bitch trying my bed. Ain't trying to do that cause these bitch be whack. I just fucking out the Ukraine. Bitch come through, she gon' throw shit back. Let me talk about brother got the bag. When now he ain't even have right. Niggas bouncing ain't kill no sight. Heard that brother ain't definitely right.
Man, this woman kills her wife on live after she tells the truth about something, shorty. Tap in. Hell no.
I knew it all along, you son of a bitch. And I'm finna beat your. Don't play with me. I seen this with my own eyes. And I'm finna dust this.
Bro, I ain't mean to laugh, but did y'all notice that the lesbian relationships be the worst ones? I mean, not the worst ones, but the most domestic. If you go against that, you're crazy. Lesbian relationships are the most domestic, shorty. Look it up. Worse than a man and female relationship. I don't know the name for it. Parasexual or some shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, the man, they get bad. They be fighting each other, but they be tripping, bro.
And I mean that. And I mean that. You been lying, ho. You a liar. I'm finna beat you now, bitch. Don't ever hang up with me.
Whoa. Don't ever hang up with you. Like, you really calling the phone to yell. Call on the phone to yell, bro.
She ain't finna answer me. She know.
By the evening of November 16, 2022, the unthinkable happened. A woman was found fatally wounded inside her Atlanta home, her youngest child standing only a few feet away. The house she had dreamed of, the life she had built brick by brick, had become the stage for her final moments. This was Cornisha Butler, a young mother of 4 who was shot in the face by her wife after Cornisha finally told her the harsh truth that she was not ready to hear. Cameras caught the terrifying incident unfolding with the gun in the killer's hands. She had done everything right, at least everything she thought she could. Police reports, restraining orders, repeated calls for help. Time after time, she tried to shield herself and her children from danger.
Like, y'all see this shit, bro? You could call the police, get restrained, or all type of shit. Y'all think that's gonna stop somebody from getting killed? The police be no help. Why you think niggas in the streets don't look to call no police? They not about to help you, nigga. They not about to help you, nigga. They gonna make it worse for your ass. They gonna put out your paperwork. You was snitching, them niggas gonna come kill your monkey behind. That's all that's going on. And I feel bad for this lady. She got 3 kids, 3 daughters at that. 3 daughters. That's why I don't understand, bro. Date the same. Why y'all gotta date the same gender, bro? That's diabolical. Like, hell I just don't understand it.
But the very system designed to protect her moved too slowly, and in the end, it was too late. But as the police dug deep into the investigation, they discovered that this wasn't just a crime, it was the explosion of years of escalating abuse, ignored warnings, and missed opportunities to intervene. This was the life and death of Cornisha Butler.
Yo.
Her tragic end unfolded in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, in the USA. The city pulses with vibrant culture, lush urban parks, colorful street art, historic architecture, and a dynamic mix of long-standing locals, creative souls, and bustling young professionals. But in 2022, the city's beauty was shadowed by a troubling rise in violent crime. Homicides surged to levels not seen in decades, and robberies and car theft became a growing concern, leaving many residents both proud of their city's vibrancy and uneasy about its safety. But Cornisha was not always in this city. She had been born elsewhere. Cornisha Butler was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. From an early age, she carried a strong sense of independence and determination. Friends described her as magnetic, the kind of person who walked into a room and instantly drew attention with her laughter and warmth. Family called her the glue that held everyone together, the one who could ease tension with a joke or brighten any gathering with her presence. But behind that charisma was also grit. Life didn't hand her anything easily. She became a mother at a young age, and while many might have struggled to balance responsibility with ambition, Cornisha thrived. Her 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son, became her driving force. Everything she pursued, every late-night hustle and early morning sacrifice was for them. By day, she sharpened her skills in finance, working as a registered tax preparer. She knew numbers, she knew systems, and she used that knowledge to provide for others while carving out financial stability for her family. By night, she leaned into her creative passions as a licensed esthetician, building a clientele that trusted her to bring out their best selves. For Cornisha, the dual careers weren't just jobs, they were stepping stones to freedom. But even more than work, she dreamed of building something lasting. She wanted her children to have the security she never had, and that vision led her to Atlanta. Moving wasn't easy, but she poured everything into it, eventually buying her dream home, a spacious 5-bedroom house where her children could grow up surrounded by safety, love, and opportunity. That house became her sanctuary. Family gatherings filled it with laughter and life. Birthdays, holidays, and late-night dinners with friends were captured on social media, where she proudly showed just how far she had come. For Cornisha, that home wasn't just square footage. It was proof of her resilience, a legacy she hoped to leave for her children. But behind the smiles and the celebrations, a storm was slowly brewing in the form of a lover. In 2016, Cornisha began a relationship with a woman named Shakia Perkins. At first, it seemed like the kind of love story people dream of. Shakia was attentive, charming, and appeared to give Cornisha the support she had long deserved. Within months, they were living together, blending their lives in ways that made everything look picture perfect from the outside. But soon cracks began to show. What started as minor signs of jealousy escalated into control. Shakia questioned her movements, accused her of dishonesty, and grew increasingly possessive.
You see how he said jealousy? Man.
Over time, arguments spiraled into violence. The property was destroyed. Threats became constant. And while Cornisha tried to keep things together for the sake of her family, the relationship grew more toxic with every passing year. Still, she tried to move forward. She filed reports, sought restraining orders, and even distanced herself from Shakia more than once. But each time she pushed back, the retaliation grew worse. Friends noticed her withdrawing from social gatherings. The family noticed the fear in her voice. What once looked like love was now a cage tightening around her. And even as she tried to separate herself, the cycle of abuse refused to end. By late 2021, the violence escalated to shocking new levels. There were police reports from September 2021 describing how Shakia had rammed Cornisha's car on the road, attempting to push her off and then striking her vehicle again. Days later, another report detailed how she forced her way into Cornisha's home, damaging the doorframe in a jealous rage. Later that same month, fire investigators responded to a blaze at Cornisha's home. 2 of her vehicles, including her cherished pink Mercedes-Benz, were destroyed, and flames licked dangerously close to the house itself.
Come on, bro. And yet they still ain't locked that lady up. Still ain't get her ass up out of here. Moving someone in your house months after dating is crazy. Come on, bro. Y'all people gotta do better. Y'all be so desperate. Y'all willing to do anything. Y'all moving so fast. All that moving fast, y'all see, like, y'all don't even get to really know who you're messing with, bro. You don't really know who you're messing with, bro. When times get real hard and stuff, you won't know until it get hard and you rushed and found out yourself, because y'all ain't get time to process anything. Y'all rushing. You got 4 kids, so you trying to have someone help you with your life and shit and your kid. Like, come on, bro. You thought that was the one. Like, come on, bro. Y'all people got to do better for yourself, man.
Investigators labeled it arson, and suspicion immediately fell on Shakia. Then came the threats. Cornisha received chilling text messages that spelled out precisely what she intended to do. In one, she made a very bold claim. She told Cornisha she would soon be dead and that she didn't care if it landed her in prison. In another, she made it clear she was aiming for 1st degree, not 2nd. These weren't vague outbursts. They were detailed roadmaps of intent. Fires, threats, stalking. Each incident was more disturbing than the last. Police intervened multiple times. Arrests were made. But time and time again, bond was granted and Shakia returned to the streets. Despite repeated restraining orders and clear patterns of danger, the cycle continued unchecked. Cornisha fought to protect herself, but she was up against more than just one person. She was battling a system that treated escalating abuse as isolated events rather than pieces of the same terrifying puzzle. 13 times she called for help. 13 times she asked for protection. Each time the response was too slow, too weak, or too temporary. Still, she clung to hope and tried to live her life. She decorated her new home for the holidays, planning to host Thanksgiving with her children for the very first time. She wanted to show them that despite everything, joy could still exist, but the peace she longed for was about to be shattered. On November 16, 2022, danger arrived at her front door. Neighbors later recalled hearing the commotion, but nothing could prepare them for what was happening inside. Cornisha and Shakia were wrapped up in a heated argument. Cornisha was done with the toxic relationship, but Shakia was not going to let go so easily. As emotions got high and heated, something in Shakia snapped and she turned to leave.
Like, look at nephew ass, bro. Want to be a man so bad. Still a female, so they be trying to beat the life out their girlfriends and shit. And then she got married to Lofo. Like, this was your wife? I just don't understand this, and I don't want to understand because I don't care too much. But it's sad that we keep seeing it over and over and over again, shorty.
But the fight was only taking a dangerous turn. Instead of walking away from the argument, camera footage caught her going into her car to retrieve a gun, which she took back in with her. She was determined to end the arguments and fighting once and for all.
Big monkey.
It did not matter that Cornisha's youngest child was home that day, resting nearby. Shakia raised the gun at Cornisha and made a decision. Moments later, gunshots rang out. When the first 911 call came in just after 6 p.m., dispatchers relayed urgent reports of gunfire inside a home. Within minutes, patrol cars raced down neighborhood streets, sirens echoing against the quiet backdrop of family homes preparing for the holidays. Officers arrived to find a scene no one could forget. The front door stood partially open, and a neighbor was waiting outside, pointing towards the house with fear in their eyes. Inside, the silence was heavy, broken only by the cries of a child. There, on the living room floor, lay 29-year-old Cornisha Butler, struck multiple times at close range. Blood pooled beneath her, her holiday decorations still glowing in the background, a chilling contrast between life's celebration and her gory death. First responders attempted RPR, but the injuries were catastrophic. Cornisha was pronounced dead on the scene. Her youngest child, only a toddler, was pulled from the house, physically unharmed, but forever changed by what they had witnessed.
Yeah.
But the horror didn't stop with what they saw. Detectives immediately noticed signs pointing to a premeditated act. This wasn't a burglary gone wrong or a random attack. This was targeted, intimate, and deeply personal. As investigators canvassed the neighborhood,
Oh, yeah. It took y'all this long to finally figure out that? Fucking idiots. She's been calling y'all over and over again, telling y'all that her life is in danger and all types of shit, and y'all don't help. Police is no good. They're no good for nothing.
multiple residents stepped forward. One neighbor described seeing a vehicle circling earlier in the evening, moving slowly, parking for long stretches as if waiting for something. Others said that they had heard voices raised inside the home, followed by the sharp cracks of gunfire. Meanwhile, forensic teams scoured the house. Shell casings were recovered, confirming the weapon used was a 9mm handgun. Security cameras from surrounding homes and street corners were pulled for review. Every angle mattered. Every second of footage could reveal the suspect's movements. It didn't take long for the pieces to fall into place. Cornisha's family members quickly confirmed what police already feared, that the likely suspect was her estranged partner, Shakia Perkins.
Yeah.
And as investigators dug deeper, a disturbing picture began to emerge. For South Fulton detectives, this was not the first time they had seen Shakia's name attached to reports involving Cornisha. In fact, they discovered a trail of violence stretching back over a year. There were police reports from September 2021 describing how Shakia's violent, obsessive, and controlling behavior towards Cornisha.
She tried to run Cornisha off the road in her car.
Yo.
And this all happened within months of this incident. Also, there was an incident where she set Cornisha's car, she had a Jeep, set her car on fire in the driveway.
But despite all of this, despite restraining orders and repeated arrests, court documents showed that judges had allowed her out on bond. At the time of the murder, she was still facing pending charges for assault, property damage, and arson.
Yo.
Yet she was free to walk the streets. But now they had a prime suspect. Detectives working the scene on November 16 knew immediately who they were looking for. An all-points bulletin was issued for Shakia Perkins. Units spread out across Fulton County, while the homicide team began tracing her digital footprint. Cell phone data quickly became the key. Her device pinged towers near the crime scene that evening, placing her in the area at the exact time of the shooting. Minutes later, the signal traveled across town, stopping at an apartment complex tied to her sister. Then the police made their move. By 10:30 that night, the South Fulton Tactical Unit had the building surrounded. Officers moved quietly, positioning themselves at entry points while negotiators prepared to make contact. The atmosphere was tense. This was an armed suspect who had just demonstrated she was capable of extreme violence.
Yeah.
But when the door opened, the reality was far different. Shakia did not fight. She surrendered without resistance, hands raised, her demeanor shifting between sobbing hysteria and chilling calm. Body camera footage later revealed her muttering, fragmented phrases. She mumbled statements that seemed to absolve herself of blame, as if she believed she had no choice. Then, inside her vehicle, parked nearby, investigators found the evidence that tied everything together. A 9mm handgun, the same caliber used in the killing. A notebook with details of Cornisha's daily schedule and routines. And on her phone, a draft message never sent. It's done now. You can't.
You should have known Shorty was going to get caught because, like, it's a female doing this shit. She not about to get rid of nothing. She not smart enough to throw the book away. She not smart enough to get rid of the gun. She's just dumb. Wanting to do stuff because she's in her feelings. She got real emotional, so she wanted to kill. And didn't know how to cover it up. Stupid asshole. Like, comment, subscribe, bro. I ain't watching this no more. The Shorty is bogus, fam.